there is that point where it doesn't look like James is even going to do the third movie, and it looks like a lot of you guys are like, well, F it, I'm not going to do the third movie either during all that time. And then and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's in between that time where he gets the Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah.
Right. So can you tell me just as much as you can, you don't have to rehash anything, but that particular time of like, okay, well now he's doing the Suicide Squad. It's like, I'm going from the Yankees to the Red Sox. Here we go. What's that time like?
Yeah. I mean, it felt like a long time in the moment, you know? But I guess it kind of really wasn't. And it was like, you know, the whole thing. Again, we don't have to rehash the story, although I don't think there's any embarrassing elements about it.
No, it's up to you. I just didn't, if you didn't want to talk about it. Yeah.
Right. And like he had written these tweets and he got fired for it. And it was kind of, it was like half bullshit and half understandable that he got fired. Like there's always a lot of things at play other than our emotional attachment to how we think things should go, obviously. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we're not making this third movie that we felt ready to make. And it was really devastating for me personally, but I also was more worried about my brother, who I know thought his career was over for a minute, you know? Yeah. And so he was kind of what he was going through, I know was incredibly difficult. But I also think that, people in the business of making movies recognize talent, and they know how to not pass up an opportunity. And so my understanding is that Warner Brothers contacted him pretty quickly and said, we want you to come do something here. And that they may have had their ideas about, they're like, we can tell you what we'd most like you to do. And he's like, well, I'm just going to tell you what I want to do, which is I really want to make, he's like my first choice would be Suicide Squad, but I know you just made a Suicide Squad movie. So maybe you don't want me to do that. And I'm like, do you want to make another one? Let's just do it. He said, that's what I want to do. And then he just kind of jumped in. Yeah. Like I'm not, for people who know me as a collaborator, my brother, James, I'm not ever involved in any of that part of the business, right. Like he then calls me and says, hey man, I've decided what my next project is and here it is. And I'll let you know if and when there's a part for you, or if there's something you're interested in doing,
Yeah, sure.